yesterday was quite interesting. We had a couple of games, live watch alongs. The Man United game away to Hull City, which was a disaster. And yeah, we also had Tottenham Hotspur going to the GTEC Community Stadium. They lost embarrassingly 3-0 to Brentford after they had already invested over 300 million pounds on their squad, and they still lost 3-0 to Brentford. And finally, Real Madrid last night against Espanyol. It was a very, very tight and scrappy win for Real Madrid last night against Espanyol. Espí, Carlos Espí with the late winner for Real Madrid to give José Mourinho his first La Liga win after his second stint back at the club. So it was a very, very it was a very crazy day, I would say. On the Man United side, it wasn't pleasant. The Madrid side, it was not so nice, but it was good getting all 3 points, because that's all that matters in football. Yeah, sometimes you might not play the best of football, but you just need to get all 3 points, which was what I said about the Man United game yesterday. I I didn't give two F's about what the performance was going to be yesterday. I just said all you guys needed to do was win the damn game. That was all. Anything draw or a loss, I really, really don't want to see it, but that was what ended up happening, and I had a very weird feeling about that. But Real Madrid, thankfully, got the 3 points yesterday, and yeah, Barcelona will have to play their own game today. I think, is it Elche that Barcelona is playing against today? Barca will play today. The likes of Liverpool, Man City will also play their games today. Chelsea will be doing their Monday night football tomorrow. So let's see how today's games are going to go. Dennis Backham, welcome back, bro. Nice to have you back on the channel. It's already midnight in your area. Carl of Gubratsen says, I, Man U Caps W. Carl, it's been a while, man. Nice to have you back. Carl of Gubratsen. Majid says, hi, y'all. SP. Yeah, SP. Carlos SP. Though I didn't watch that goal, but I woke up and I just checked the news and I saw that SP came on. I think he substituted Jude Bellingham. Yeah, and scored the late winner for Real Madrid. I think Jose Mourinho, based on the game, the minutes I watched, Mourinho still needs to get a balance in that midfield. I didn't watch Diomande how he performed. I didn't watch Diomande, but like I said, in the 50 minutes I watched, or would I say 60? Maybe around 50 or 55 minutes I watched. The best player on that pitch was Adagule. And I think even in the second half, before I ended the stream, there was a corner kick Adagule played, headed by Jude Bellingham as well. Yeah, it was headed by Jude Bellingham as well, and the goalkeeper saved that. Kylian Mbappe went for the rebound, a rebound header. Yeah, but he headed it wide. So for me, Gula was fantastic. Jude also did amazing in the game. Dumfries played well in the first half, but I think the last 15 minutes of the first half, Dumfries was nowhere to be found. But yeah, I don't know the full game, how it went on. Yeah, because I stopped halfway. But based off the minutes I watched, I would definitely give the man of the match to Adagule. Sometimes I don't really focus on maybe a person who scored, but I look at the overall performance of that player. Dennis Beckham says Manchester United lost, but Noble View TV won. Bro, I just don't want to remember that calamity of a game yesterday. Yeah, I don't want to remember that game. That was really, really exhausting. Yeah, just making me crash out. And most times I don't like to crash out, but these boys just mess with our emotions. Honestly, it was crazy. Carl of Gubranson says, Noble, please sing Glory Man United. Bro, Man United are effing up right now, man. They are effing up right now and they are not giving us joy. Looking at if you go through all the whole internet yesterday, all Man United fans were crashing out for the first game of the season. That's bad, man. That's bad. Carrick needs to sit up. He needs to sit up. I saw a post where he was talking about being in a bubble. I'm not in no bubble with him, man. I'm not in any bubble with Michael Carrick. He needs to get his shit together. He really, really needs to get his shit together. Because I cannot do this in this new season. The ball was just kicked and we are already in a very, very terrible situation. It doesn't make sense. Majid says Jude's man of the match. Mbappe and Vini need to step up their game. There was a pass Kylian Mbappe was supposed to give Vini. Just square play the ball back to Vinicius to score. But Kylian wanted to be the one to score the goal. And this might be a problem. Yeah, this might be a problem for Madrid going forward. You guys should stop playing selfish. If you have an opportunity to score, you score the goal. But if your teammate is in a better position to score, you just have to pass the ball to him. It's very simple. You don't have to take all the glory. If you get an assist, it's also part of the game. It's not a must that you have to score. This is one thing Kylian Mbappe and Jude Bellingham need to understand. And José Mourinho need to talk to them. And this affected Madrid last season. And I want to tell Madrid, please, Man United will not give me headache. And I will come to Madrid. You people will also give me headache. I don't want it. I don't want it, honestly. With the players Madrid have assembled this season, they don't need to struggle against smaller teams. They don't. And just imagine yesterday, the first 20 minutes, Real Madrid had a lot of chances. They missed them. And scored only that one goal. That one goal from Jude. They had a lot of chances. Kylian Mbappe missed about 3 chances in the first half. Vini missed his with 1 or 2 other players. So they had a couple of chances. This is not what they are going to do in this new season, honestly. Stanley Macha says Messi or Ronaldo. Yeah, Ronaldo all day long, man. I'm a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Dennis Beckham says Bruno Fernandes is still in his World Cup form. Bro, that guy needs to take off that Portuguese cloak. He needs to take it off because if he continues like this, I know Man United fans, they are so going to come for Bruno's head. Yeah, one thing with football fans is you have to give it to us now. Many people don't really care about what you have done for the club months ago or years ago. All people care about is right now. What are you doing? And to be honest, since Bruno came back from the World Cup, he has been shambolic. His first game was against PSG. He didn't do well. Let me see. Okay, I think that PSG game is the game I can say was the best he's played since he came back from the World Cup. And that wasn't like a 9 over 10 performance. It was pretty much like, I would say, around a 6 over 10 performance, that PSG game. But the AC Milan game was, would I say 2 over 10? Yesterday, I would even give him a 0 over 10. Bruno Fernandes. I would give him a 0 over 10 yesterday. I was really, really upset with all the players except for Sene Lammens, who was just different from others. And if not for Lammens, that game would have been 4-5-0 at halftime. It would have been 4-5-0 and that would have been more embarrassing. Honestly, these guys need to sit up. And Bruno Fernandes especially, he is my favorite player right now, like I said. But that doesn't exempt him from criticism. Nah, I don't operate like that. The fact that you are my fave doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize you when you do what is supposed to be criticized. I don't work like that. Yeah, you might be my favorite player and I criticize you. I've done the same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo for me is the GOAT, but there are things he's done a couple of times throughout his career that I criticized him for. And Bruno Fernandes is no exception. No player is an exception. So they need to sit up. And Michael Carrick, like I said when I started this stream, I am not in any bubble with Michael Carrick. He should get his shit together. Else he's going to be in for a very, very serious trouble with United fans. Carl Olaf. I always mispronounce your name. Carl Olaf Gudbrandsson. I think that's... Is it Norway? Is it a Norwegian name? But I know that name sounds pretty much like a Viking name. So I guess that should be a Norwegian name. Olaf. Yeah, because I've watched a couple of Norwegian movies. Stanley says Barca or Real Madrid. Of course, it has to be Real Madrid. I cannot choose Barcelona over Madrid. Carl of Gudbrandsson says, yeah, I agree, like it was Man United versus shitty team I never heard about. I'm so frustrated. Yeah, Hull City have been out of the Premier League for a very, very long time. I am not sure the exact year they got relegated, but I'm pretty sure that it's been more than 10 years I last saw Man United play against Hull City in the Premier League. I think when Hull City was in the Premier League last, there was this guy, I think it's Hunt. There's this Hull City not a defender though, but he's an Hull City player, either a midfielder or a defender. The guy is very, very, very rough. He was actually the player that got Peter Cech injured many years ago in the head. So that Hunt guy, I think Hull City should be more than 10, 12 years they got relegated. So United just messed themselves up against a newly promoted side. And I saw a post, I don't know how true that was yesterday, that Hull City were without 7 to 8 players, and their owner is a Turkish man, right? Their owner said that if they can get a draw, that it would be an amazing result for them. Yeah, so a newly promoted side had 7 to 8 players who were out, and they bamboozled Man United like a small team. Honestly, this is crazy. Honestly, this is crazy. Michael Carrick needs to sit up. He needs to sit up. Raymond says, hi Noble, how are you? Nico Gonzalez, Manchester City told Nico to leave Man City and go to Newcastle right now for 50 million. Deal for Newcastle United right now. Alright, Ray, welcome back, man. James says, when I go to United, headache. When I go to Madrid, headache. But when I go to my other club, Porto, absolute paradise. Bro, Madrid started that game well yesterday, and I watched from minute 1 up until, let's say, I think around 55 or 57 minutes, right? Yeah, before I had to end the stream because, man, I was feeling very sleepy. As at that time when I slept, it was around 4:30 something a.m. my time. Yeah. Around 4:35 a.m. my time. So I was really, really tired and haven't been on the live stream for over 6 hours yesterday. I was just like, let me just go rest, man. Let me go and rest, because I know I still have I still have morning show that I need to do today, and yeah, I knew Madrid was going to win that game, but I didn't know it was going to take up until the 90th plus minutes before Madrid would get a win. But the most important thing is to get the win. Majid says Bruno is shit. You don't go against your teammate and captain who many consider the GOAT. A lot of people are not happy with Bruno. A lot of people. And it's 99.9% Cristiano Ronaldo fans, right? Both those who are Man United fans and Real Madrid fans, or fans who support other clubs, yeah, they are not happy about it. But Ronaldo, I think Bruno, like I said, he was the worst player at the World Cup, and Bruno is my favorite player. That thing he did at the World Cup, I don't know what happened behind the scene. I don't know. Yeah, because the form with which Bruno was before he went to the World Cup, I predicted that Bruno was going to break Pele's assist record in the World Cup. But he went there, and I don't know what to say about Bruno in that World Cup. And he's brought that same form back to Manchester United. That is the one I will not condone. Nah. You can do that stuff with Portugal, but not at Man United. So Bruno needs to sit up. Yeah, he needs to sit up. I know a lot of Man United fans have been coming for Bruno's head, and I wouldn't blame them, right? All these Hollywood passes, you guys should stop it and play proper football. Imagine against a Hull City team, they had more attempts on targets more than Man United. They were even more of a threat when they had the ball than when Man United had the ball. It was a really, really big cause for concern. And like I said, Michael Carrick, I saw that your interview when you were saying there is no need to panic or worry. It's just the first game of the season, blah, blah, blah. And we are in a bubble. Who is in a bubble with you, man? I am not in any bubble with you, Carrick. You have to get your shit together, bro. This is not what we subscribe for. If this is what you wanted to do, we would have said Ineos should look for a new manager. Don't come and bring us this Ole vibe. Come and give us Ole 2.0. I don't need it. I really, really don't need this Ole 2.0. And I knew a couple of Man United fans that said Man United should not give Carrick the permanent job. That it's very much likely to be what's it called? It's very much likely to be Ole Gunnar's 2.0. And I said, nah, Carrick has done amazing, right? So we need to back him. Yeah, we need to back Michael Carrick, give him the players that he needs. But one thing I do not want to ever see at Man United again is Patrick Dogu playing left wing. If Carrick tries that thing, then I will have serious issues with him. I don't want to see Patrick Dogu playing that left wing. When you have left wingers on the bench, you're playing Patrick Dogu as a left winger. Dogu cannot dribble. Patrick Dogu is not good on the ball. There are only two things that Patrick Dogu is really good at. Number one is pressing and just running like a headless chicken. Number two is just shoot, and that's all. That is all. So I don't want to see Patrick Dogu up front as a left winger going forward, because if Carrick continues that, then I will take off. I will just take my support away from him. Anything he sees, he should take, because I don't understand why you are trying to force a player who is not what he is to become a different thing. You're getting a round hole and putting it in a square space. It doesn't work like that. Honestly, it doesn't work like that. And I am really, really disappointed with that particular decision. Honestly, I am disappointed with it. And Carrick, like I said, needs to sit up. Bruno, all these senior players, they need to sit up. And we need to get more defenders. I've been saying this. Man United need defenders. Look at Maguire yesterday. Maguire turned to he turned into a Hull City striker holding Nusa Mazraoui. Mazraoui couldn't go for the ball. Maguire himself couldn't go for the ball. And Ajayi was just there, comfortable. And he just jabbed the ball inside the net. I really, really don't want this season, honestly. White Roses, welcome back, White Roses. Nice to have you back. Keach Michael says, did you watch Hull City vs Man United? Like, are we just gonna bottle again? Bro, I don't know why Michael Carrick and his boys had to start the season for us in that bad note. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but Michael has to sit up because this is an opportunity for us to push for the league title, but we are not just ready. And I've been shouting all summer that Man United need players. We need players. But some United fans are just overexcited with some mediocre signings. And I said, you cannot expect me as a Man United fan to be excited about a Baleba signing, a Santos signing. The only signing that made me a little bit positive about was Youri Tielemans. But the other signings, those are average players. And they've not really done enough. For Tielemans have done enough in the Premier League that I've seen over the years. At least I've watched Tielemans in the Premier League since 2018-2019 season. So it's not like maybe I've just watched him for one season and I'm now judging off that season. No. I've watched Tielemans for about 7 years now in the Premier League. 4 at Leicester City, 3 at Aston Villa. So I know all about Tielemans' game, right? It now depends on him gelling with the likes of Bruno Fernandes and whomever is going to play in that defensive midfield role with. Yeah, because the truth be told is that Tielemans has a very similar pattern to Bruno. He likes those Hollywood passes a lot. He likes those passes a lot. So it's going to be a tough one for Man United this season. If Carrick doesn't sit up, then we are going to be in for a long ride, honestly. We are going to be in for a long ride. Guys, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get it up. Yeah, yesterday live stream was crazy. Like I said, guys, it was crazy. We had a lot of new people join the stream. And I think from our morning show yesterday, we had 3,800 people join. Then from the Man United game, we had 5,000 views from the Manchester United game yesterday. A lot of people joined. People from the UK, Nigeria, US as well. And is it South Africa? Yeah, we had about, those were the 4 main regions that joined yesterday for the morning show, and that was a record views on the live stream. Yeah, considering the live stream for Man United was just for 3 hours and we got over 5,000 views, and the morning show was for less than 2 hours, let's say about an hour 55 minutes, and we got 3,800 views, over 3,800, almost 3,900 views yesterday for the morning show. So it's been an amazing weekend. Even though my club Man United lost, I would have loved them to win, right? But it is what it is. You cannot change the course of time. You just have to accept it, and hope for a better outcome next time. As she says, I think we signed some fraud players. Don't worry, I will come to Tottenham. I will come to Spurs, because Spurs, I don't know what. I think this season, right? This season is going to be very interesting. Honestly, it's going to be a very, very interesting season. Guys, if you're new to the channel, give us a like and don't forget to subscribe. Also, let us know the country you are connecting from. Let us know in the chat, guys. ARMO3 says, Man United going to win the EPL, UCL, FA, and FA Cup. Bro, can you wake up from your dream? Yeah, because with what they played yesterday in a new season, bro, that is you giving yourself serious hope, man. Yeah, you're giving yourself serious hope. And the only thing that will get you disappointed in any situation is when you when you put your hopes really, really high, and that disappointment is going to get you really, really annoyed. So it's better it's better you just let it be, man. It's better you just let it be. For Man United, nah, I don't know what their plan is. Yeah, I don't know what Carrick's plan is, but if it's what we saw yesterday, then guys, it's gonna be a tough season for us, man. It's gonna be a tough season. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough season for us. But I hope we are not gonna see the same performance like yesterday again this season, because the season is long. 37 more games to go. James Rival says, I don't care if we won by 1 goal or if we had way more shots on target. Those shots should have been goals because we had 8 shots on target and 2 of those goals, only 25% were just shots better. Well, if you're talking about the Man United game yesterday, we had possession, right? And for me, your possession is useless when you don't score goals. It's absolutely useless if you don't score goals. So I love possession, but if that possession is not going to translate into chances created and chances created into goals, I don't need those ball possession, right? I don't need them. So the most important thing in every game is to get 3 points. And like I said yesterday, I said I don't really want to care about how we play on or off the ball. I don't want to care about it. But all I needed yesterday for Man U in their first league game of the season was to get all 3 points. I said it, and it was now like what I said now became an opposite of what the players gave us. As she says, at least Thomas Frank had started the season well, unlike De Zerbi. Now, Tottenham fans are also right to be angry because they have spent over 300 million pounds to sign new players, and getting battered by Brentford 3-0 is a really, really embarrassing one for them, honestly. White Rosie says, hello Nobu, good to see ya. Yeah, same here, Catherine, nice to have you back. Nice to have you back. Majid says he was expecting a lot of attention because of the best Premier League player of the season award. Sorry, he's delusional if he thinks people and media will give him that with CR7 in the squad. I think Bruno got it wrong in that World Cup. He got it wrong 100%. And she says, I mean, De Zerbi isn't using his resources well. The same thing I said to Carrick, I will say to De Zerbi. He needs to sit up because you cannot spend over 300 million pounds on new signings and you're struggling. The fans won't have that patience. And the same thing I said to myself. The fact that I love Michael Carrick and I wanted him as a manager on a permanent basis, but it doesn't mean that if he F's up, I will give him a thumbs up. Nah, I don't work like that. I'm going to back him until He gives me reasons not to. And like I said, I don't want to see Patrick Dogu play up front again when we have players on the bench who are left wingers or attacking players, natural attacking players. You are playing Patrick Dogu. You had Marcus Rashford. I'm not Marcus Rashford's biggest fan. I am not. I already said I don't need him back at the club, right? But I would rather have Marcus Rashford play up front for me as a winger than Dogu. I would rather have Shelesi play that position for me than Patrick Dogu. Or even JJ Gabriel, who is it 14 or 15 years. I would rather have someone who is a natural attacking player, play an attacking position for me than you trying to convert a defender. What can he do on the ball? He cannot hold on to the ball. He can't pass the ball properly without making mistakes. Majid says W Noble stream record. Yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Yesterday was it was sweet and bitter at the same time. Yeah, it was bitter because Man United lost 2-0 to Hull City even without scoring a goal. That was the bitter aspect of yesterday. It was not nice, right? But the sweet part of yesterday was we had 2 live streams yesterday and both live streams were crazy. Like I said, the first live stream, the morning show we had yesterday, gave us a record 3,800 views record for a morning show. And later on for the Man United game, we got 5,000 views record for a live stream and also live stream record on total views record in full form or live stream for the channel. So yeah, those were the sweet moments from yesterday. But the bitter side was my beloved Man United losing embarrassingly to a newly promoted side who had 7 to 8 players out. Honestly, it was really a very, very bad result for Man United. But we hope that is it the Ipswich game? We have Ipswich and Everton coming up next. So let's hope that Michael Carrick's team is going to do better than they did, because if they repeat this same thing against Ipswich and Everton, then I might lose my confidence in Michael Carrick. Yeah, because I will not have people tell me it's just 2 games or it's just 1 game now. Yeah, because the more you relax and hope to see things get better, they get worse. Toxic Edit says different seasons, same Spurs and Madrid. Toxic Edit. Well, I know you're happy. You guys won your game on Friday, so Arsenal is pretty much comfortable. Not at the top. Not at the top, right? Okay, Arsenal is not. Who won? Okay, Brentford won 3-0 yesterday. Arsenal won 3-0. Nobody played 4-0. So Arsenal is pretty much still on top of the league because they are named Arsenal with the A alphabet, Brentford with the B. So Arsenal is still top of the league, except maybe teams like Man City or Liverpool or Newcastle tend to win their games and get like 4-5 goals. Then they can top it. Drew Witchman says, please like the stream and subscribe. Thank you very much, Drew. I appreciate that, man. Guys, let's get the likes up. Yesterday, I don't know why sometimes most people don't like to give a like, right? They just want to stay on the stream and enjoy the show, but leaving a like, I don't know if they forget. Even when I try to remind some people to leave a like on the stream, sometimes they just sit comfortably and enjoy the stream, but they will not hit the like button. So please, guys, one of the ways you can actually help the channel is by liking and also sharing the video as well, because it's going to help the algorithm push it to more people. So that's why I always call people to action to try and give us a like on the stream and also yeah, being very much active is going to help the stream and the channel do better. So let's get everyone to hit the like button, guys. Okay, I think I left this. Dennis Beckham says, Ashish, what happened for I thought Spurs were making top four. Nah, Spurs were very, very bad yesterday. I was even complaining about Man United in that game against Hull City. But I think the Spurs situation is better, right? Because they lost to a Brentford side. And Brentford last season were very, very good. Yeah, Brentford were very, very good last season. So it's different from the Man United situation that got beaten by a newly promoted side. Now, if we had got beaten by Brentford, I won't say I'll be happy, but the outburst is not going to be like that of the Hull City game. Yeah, because as a big team, you wouldn't want to lose your first league game and you now start chasing others. Now, win your games, because I said this season is going to be one of the most unpredictable Premier League seasons I've watched all through my life, right? Because we've not had a Premier League season like this. I can't remember in recent history, because the only team that you can say is fully prepared now for the new Premier League season is Arsenal, and they have already improved their squad. Mariam, good morning to you as well. Nyoko Numa says, I don't like Santos' play yesterday. Bro, I am coming to Andre Santos. I am coming for Andre Santos. Santos, I have been saying this. Right? I have been saying this about Santos. I don't like his style. And I am not impressed with that signing. I don't know why many Man United fans were so gassed up with Santos. We signed a mediocre player and we are now behaving as though we signed the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League or in the world. Which, if we want to look at it in the real sense, Santos, if you're rating top 30 midfielders in the Premier League last season, Santos is nowhere near the top 30 midfielders in the Premier League. He's nowhere. He's not even a starter for Chelsea, by the way. He's not a starter. He's a second option on the bench for Chelsea. After players like Romeo Lavia, then you can now talk about Andre Santos. That is a player many United fans are going gaga for. For me, I don't rate that boy, except he proves me wrong. But for now, I don't rate him. I really, really don't rate him, honestly. Honestly, I don't rate Santos, and I don't understand why other Man United fans hold him so highly. Because for me, nah, I really, really don't hold him that high, sincerely. Nomad UCL says, just like Chelsea had gone back to the old days once Abramovich left, Man United has gone back to the years before Fergie after he's retired. Your club culture can't just be one man. Never works. You can't hype modern mediocre signings when your club has always had world-beating Ballon d'Or winning Galacticos. The standard has fallen and the fan base is to blame for accepting it. Shame. I quite agree with you. You are Nomad UCL. I don't know if I will say a lot of Man United fans, for example, those who are young, who are not used to Man United winning trophies, they don't really know what it feels like to be champions of Europe. They don't know what it feels like to be the champions of England back to back to back, like for different times. They don't know. And for those who actually experienced it, they have now been forced into accepting that mediocre level. That is just the situation of Man United. A lot of Man United fans have accepted that mediocre level of the club. And it is unacceptable for a club as big as Man United. That is just the honest truth. It is unacceptable. For me, I cannot and I will never accept that. That is why I said, you cannot sign me a Carlos Baleba and you expect me to be excited about him. Why? Carlos Baleba. It's not like you're signing me the best midfielder in the league. Look at when Sir Alex was there. What did we do? We went to Arsenal to buy their best player, Robin Van Persie. We signed Robin Van Persie from Arsenal. And we won the league that year. League number 20. We got it because we signed Robin Van Persie to add to our squad. We went to Leeds United. We got their best defender, who was a very young boy at that time, Rio Ferdinand. We went to Nottingham Forest. We got Roy Keane, who was their best player. You can name it. We went to Monaco to sign their best left back, Patrice Evra. These are the type of signings Man United used to make. We went to Tottenham, got their best striker, then Dimitar Berbatov. Michael Carrick from Tottenham, their best young midfielders at that time. We signed him from Tottenham. These are the type of signings we ought to be making. If we want to sign a player from Chelsea, why the hell can we not go for Caicedo? If you call yourself a big club, so you cannot get a player like Caicedo to leave Chelsea and come to Man United. Man United is a bigger club than Chelsea. So why can you guys not be able to pull that deal off? That is why I said this Jason Wilcox guy, I don't rate him. Sincerely, I really do not rate Jason Wilcox because he's not shown me that he's good enough for that job. He's not. Nyoko Numa says, watch from Kailahun, Sierra Leone. Alright, brother, nice to have you on the channel. It's the first time I'm seeing that name, so definitely it's a Sierra Leone name. Sierra Leone is it Freetown? Is it Freetown that is the capital of your country? Nyoko Numa. I hope I pronounce your name correctly, bro, because your name is a bit hard to pronounce. It's the first time I'm seeing that name, so I'm struggling a bit with getting the right pronunciation. Dennis Beckham says Chelsea and Manchester United's favorite shopping mall. Bro, I don't know if Chelsea has Manchester United's placenta. I don't understand. Because why do we keep doing the same thing? It's only insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again and you're expecting a different result. You have not signed anyone from this club, right? You have not signed anyone from this club to get that actually gave you success that you wanted. You have not. Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic, Mason Mount, who we are still struggling with. We are still struggling with Mason Mount. Now we have gone to strengthen the Chelsea team by giving them an additional £50 million for Santos. Why? It's even better for me to get an academy player or even one of the boys we signed. For example, this Colombian boy. I would even prefer and I will be more patient with him. And I'll be more patient with this, is it Christian Ozok or what's that Colombian teenage midfielder we signed. I would have been more patient with him than Santos because I know this boy is a talent we signed for just, is it 2 million or 3 million pounds. I would be more patient with those type of players. But not go spend 50 million on a bench warmer at Chelsea and you expect me to be excited. You are signing Baleba with few days for the transfer window to end and you want me to be excited. Yo, Man United, we've got Baleba. What nonsense is that? You are Nomad UCL. You are absolutely correct, bro. Many Man United fans have accepted that mediocre level, and for me, I can never and will never accept that. The bare minimum that the club needs to do right now is to get Champions League football back to back. That is the bare minimum. Because I cannot understand why we can play against a Hull City team. I still cannot understand or accept it that we can play against a Hull City and lose 2-0. We couldn't even score a goal. And this, mind you, this Hull City team were without 7 to 8 players yesterday. So imagine those 7 to 8 players were there. That means it would have been like a 6-7-0. Ah, God. This is crazy. Honestly. This is crazy. It's really, really crazy. Lost Mommy says, Dennis and Majid, how are you? Okay, Marian, you have gone back to your main account. Nyoko Nyuma says, yes, Freetown is our capital city. All right, bro, nice to have you on the channel. I think recently I've had a couple of Sierra Leoneans, because I checked my back office today and I saw that Sierra Leone is actually in the top 10 right now. And I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that Sierra Leone's have been pushing up the ladder on my back of in my back office. I was very surprised when I checked it earlier today and I saw it. I'm like, whoa, Egypt is there now. Egypt is like number 7 or 8 now. Sierra Leone is number 10. And I was like, wow, that's a surprise. I've never had Sierra Leone come in my top 10 before, but yeah, Sierra Leone is comfortably sitting in 10th position. Lost Mommy said, okay, I've read that already. Nonso Akaniro says, Man United is trash. Man United. Well, I don't blame anyone that want to say shit about Man United right now, because the club is, I don't know even what to say to them. The club is in a very terrible situation. That's it. And that is why, for me as a Man United fan, I'm a realist. I am not a delusional fan. I like to face reality and say things the way they are. I knew we were not ready. And that was why I said, Man United board, Ineos, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, these guys need to give Michael Carrick the players that he needs. That defensive line, for me, I'm not comfortable with it. If other United fans are comfortable, I am not comfortable with it. Because you cannot have Luke Shaw as your starting left back in 2026 and you tell me you want to challenge for the title. You cannot have Harry Maguire start games for you week in, week out, and you tell me you want to win titles. It doesn't work that way. Maguire is, I think, 33 or 34 years. He can't run. Yes, he's got some attributes that you can still utilize now, no doubt about it. But he's not really at his best right now. So I don't know why Man United have known all summer that they need to make improvement in the squad, but they have been so nonchalant and reluctant. It's really crazy. Vili 1005 says, mate, what the actual F is wrong with United and Spurs? New season, same old clubs. Bro, my United is in a very, very terrible situation, in all honesty. Yeah, we might want to spin positivity as much as we want to, but you just have to face reality. The reality right now is Man United is absolute nonsense right now. That is just the reality. With what I saw yesterday, if Carrick continues in this particular direction, then sorry, he might not see December as a Man United manager. Sorry to say. If he continues like this, look at that AC Milan game. He did not learn his lessons. He didn't learn his lessons. This was pretty much similar to that AC Milan game. And I know many people were saying to me in the live stream when I was reacting to that game, they were saying, come on, Nobu, it's just preseason. There's nothing much about it. And I said, guys, it's not just about preseason. I always look at the performance. That is what I focus on. Right? In preseason, I said this many times when we were playing, even when we won and when we lost. I said, once it comes to preseason, I look at the performance, how the team plays on the ball and off the ball. I take a close look at that. And the tactics of the manager, how these players actually adapt. Not only the result comes in later on, but the performance is what you're going to look at. Now, if you look at the Hull City game, Man United didn't perform well. Right? What they did was, when Hull City had the chance, they go very direct and score a goal. They scored, I think, 2 of their goals. One was from the free kick. I think both goals were actually set pieces. Yeah, both goals were set pieces. And I saw Luke Shaw's post-match interview where he said they knew what Hull City's strengths were, set piece. So if you guys knew what Hull City's strengths were, why did you guys not stop that? Yet the goals you considered were from set pieces. Does that make sense? I don't really know what those boys are on about, honestly. Lost Mommy says, welcome back, it's James. Yeah, James, welcome back, man. Welcome back. The Spurs man. James, what do you have to say about your loss to Brentford yesterday? What do you have to say about it, man? Vili says, my favorite thing about yesterday was Bruno Fernandes doing the same old thing, blaming everyone else but himself. Yeah, I saw his body language where I think when Dalot came on, Dalot was trying to, I think Dalot didn't move forward, so he was like pushing his hand, directing Diogo Dalot that he was supposed to go forward and not draw back. When I saw that, I just laughed. I'm like, look at this guy. James says, how are you, Noble? Let's get the likes up. Yeah, guys. Yesterday we had about, I think, 52 likes. So, guys, I want us to get up to 60 likes on this live stream. Yeah, let's get the likes up to 60, guys. We are currently on 14 likes, so I need us to beat yesterday's like. Yeah, I think the highest likes we've gotten on the channel before was around 120 few months ago. Yeah, but I want us to beat yesterday's like of 52. Let's get 60 likes on this live stream. So I need everyone to hit the like button. Let's get it, guys. Lost Mommy says, Nobel Prize. What were the dark horses in the World Cup? I had Norway and Japan as my dark horses in the World Cup. Yeah, those two were my dark horses. It's James says they played all the bad players and Archie was captain. Yeah, I saw that, but I don't know why De Zerbi will give Archie. Yeah, I think Archie is number 4 or number 3 on the captain list. Your main captain is Van der Ven. There is Madison. There is Archie Gray. There is Pedro Porro. Yeah, I think about 2 other players. I've forgotten their names. But Archie Gray being the captain of Spurs, I don't understand that. But it's a decision of the manager. Musa Tanko says, I am supporter of Manchester United yesterday. Welcome back, Musa Tanko. Individual says, Ayo, Hull City chill lifting the Premier League. United management need to sit down and discuss serious matters now. Bro, the only matter they need to discuss is getting Carrick. defenders. Because if it is this defense we are going to use to finish this league and play the Champions League, then Man United fans should just buckle their seat belt and, you know, get some popcorn. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a series. For sure, it's going to be a series this season. Guys, let's get the likes up. Dennis Beckham says, Nonso, you are not lying. Oh, about Man United being trash. Come on, man. Even though Man United is trash at the moment, but we are still a bigger club than Arsenal. Majid says, James, what do you have to say about Spurs' last 100 years of continuous failure? I was surprised with Spurs' game yesterday, honestly. Even though I didn't watch all their game, but I watched a couple of minutes in that game. And that game should have been a 4-0 because Thiago missed the penalty, hit the post, and the ball went wide. Yeah, and if he had scored that goal, it would have been 4-0 for Spurs, having spent over £300 million. And they are still going to spend more. Omar Mamouche, in the next coming days, very much likely to be a Spurs player. They already completed the deal for Savinho, £85 million. And Omar Mamouche might be the last name coming in. So Spurs have spent, I think if you're looking at all the teams in the Premier League, or even in Europe, Spurs have spent the most amount of money in this transfer window. It's James says, Pedro, Madison, Van der Ven were not playing. Yeah, those guys were also part of the captain list called out. I watched the interview where De Zerbi was talking about the captains. He said it like Italians how they speak, capitan. Yeah, he was saying capitan. I think that's the Italian word for captain, capitan. He said we have 5 capitan, and there's something I love about the Italians and even the some Spanish people though, especially Italians. No matter how exposed or advanced they are, for example, the coaches and players, if they are speaking English, you see many of them, that accent is still there. They have their Italian accent there. Vili says, mate, I'm still gobsmacked that United really chose to keep Carrick and didn't push to get Glasner. He would have brought stability and has experience with rebuilding and Europe, so he would have fit Man United. I like Oliver Glasner, but I was among those that said Carrick should be backed and should be given the job because he did a great job with this same crop of players. And my main reason, I had 2 reasons why I wanted Carrick, right? One of it was because he did well with this squad. So if he's been backed, he's going to do well. Then secondly was the fact that he already knows the areas that needs improvement in this team. So getting a new manager will be starting all over again. And most times it's difficult for you to start all over and get it right. Most times it's difficult. So that was the 2 main reasons that made me say, okay, Ineos should keep Michael Carrick and back him. But I don't want to believe that decision was a wrong one. I really don't want to believe that. Honestly, I don't. Muna says, hey, how are you? I'm great, Muna. Welcome back. It's been a long time, Muna. Where have you been? Which country are you from, Muna? Because I know you've been on the channel a couple of times. I remember that name. Majid says, you guys talk like Spurs are expected to perform well. Now, the thing is, with Spurs, like I said, I don't really categorize them as a big 6 right now. but they are still a top club in the Premier League. They have the best stadium in England. So the bare minimum for them is to be around that top 6, top 7 area or top 8. Right? But for the past 2 seasons, they have been very, very terrible. Very terrible. Musa Tanko says, what happened with De Ligt? Is not back. De Ligt has an injury. He's already in training, warming up to be back with the team to start games. I want him back, honestly. But the back injury he had last season, he already had a surgery, and he went with the team to different countries for the preseason. So I hope to see him back in September, because it's been almost 1 year now. Lost Mommy says, honestly, I don't want Mamouche to go to Tottenham, but at the same time, it's better for him than Manchester City, because he wasn't starting matches there and was a substitute all the time. Yeah, Mamouche needed to go to a place where he would play football. Yeah, because you cannot improve or be at your best when you are always on the bench. It doesn't work that way. Musa Tanko says, lost on Hull City, look at the match. I don't know what was your character. Look at Bruno. What is step up? Bruno needs to step up. That's a fact. He cannot afford to bring in that Portuguese form into Man United. We can't afford to do that. Yeah, we can't. We can't afford to do that, honestly. We really, really cannot afford to do that. Vili says, mate, the Spurs have already spent over 300 million pounds and they played like that. At this point, I am praying to God Almighty we all get the dead chicken club out of the Prem. Mentally broken club already. Oh boy. Arsenal 8517 says, brother, how are you? Hey, thanks. Did you see Luke Shaw's interview? I watched, would I say the first, I think I watched about 20 seconds of that interview. I didn't watch the whole part of it, right? It was, I think that was on X. I was just scrolling through X, and it was on Instagram. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw that interview where Luke Shaw was saying that they knew what Hull City's strength. I already said this a couple of minutes ago. Luke Shaw said they already knew what Hull City's strength was, and it was set plays. So my question now to Luke Shaw is this. Since you guys knew Hull City's strength was set piece and set plays, why did you guys not stop it? Because the 2 goals they scored was from that. Why did you guys not stop it? I didn't even listen or watch the whole interview. Sincerely, I didn't watch all the interview. To be honest, I did not watch it. And I don't even know why they even had to bring Shaw to be the person to be interviewed after that shambolic performance. Arsenal says you should see the interview. Maybe I might watch the full interview later on, but as at that point, when I saw it, I'm like, why is this guy having to do the interview after that terrible performance? Majid says, is this stream sponsored by Emirates? By Emirates? How do you mean if it's sponsored by Emirates, Majid? For now, we've not gotten any sponsors yet. So hopefully in the future, we are going to get sponsors. Julian with Shovel says, who is your favorite Man United player of all time? Mine is Wayne Rooney. My favorite Man United player of all time, I always go with Cristiano Ronaldo. But yes, I know Ronaldo didn't spend too many years at Man United. He spent was it 6 years? Came back and spent 2 years. Yeah, but I still have him as my favorite player of all time because my favorite player of Man United and also of all time when it comes to football. So yeah, Cristiano. But another player I love Wayne Rooney very, very much. and Vidic. Yeah, I love Wayne Rooney. I love Vidic. Those guys are crazy ballers. Arsenal 851 says, for me, the problem is United back four. And Shaw is one of the problem of Manchester United. Adam, Shaw is not one of the problem of Manchester United. Luke Shaw is the major problem. If you're saying one of the problem, you're trying to downplay the enormity of the personified problem that Shaw is. Luke Shaw is Manchester United's biggest problem in that backline. And I've been shouting all summer for this guy to be replaced. But Man United have been so nonchalant and relaxed. Look at Arsenal. Saliba got injured and they knew he was going to be out for months. Straight up, they went to Villa to pay £51 million for Ezri Konsa. Quickly, the deal was done and they brought him in. He's going to play the next game against Aston Villa. So I don't know what Man United is on about. Luke Shaw is our biggest problem in that backline. He's our biggest problem. Iconic Pro says, do you think Man United make it out of the group stages? Bro, with yesterday's performance, against Hull City, and if that is what they are going to do in the Champions League, then sorry, Man United will not be able to make it out of the league phase in the Champions League. That's just the honest truth. says, hi, welcome back. Majid says, Arsenal fans are all over the stream. Okay, now it's only Adam and Dennis Backamp. I think they are the only Arsenal fans I can see on the stream now. Yeah, others are Man United Spurs. So that was why I didn't get your humor. Julian with Shovel. Nice to have you. I think it's the first time we are having you on the chat. Julian with Shovel. Which country are you connecting from? Yo, guys, I want us to get the likes to 60. Yesterday, we had 52 likes. I want us to beat that record today. And like I said yesterday was our record views on the stream. We had 5,000 views from the Man United game yesterday against Hull City. And we had 3,800 views from the morning show. So I want us to beat yesterday's like because yesterday was 52 likes. So I want us to get 60 likes on this morning stream, guys. Let's get it up. Let's get up to 60 likes. We are currently on 21. Arsenal 8517 says, honestly, with yesterday's performance, they might also lose to Ipswich, let alone Champions League. Brother, if that is the type of performance they are going to put up in the next coming weeks, then I think Michael Carrick will have to look for, a new job, because I trust United fans. Yeah. Everyone that has been shouting Carrick, they are going to turn their back on him. And for me, one of the major things that might make me turn my back on Michael Carrick is if he continues to play Patrick Dogu as that left winger. That is one thing that might make me lose confidence in him. Right? Not really sometimes about the result. I understand many people want the result, but there are so many things I need to look out for before I can say, nah, I'm done with this manager. I'm not someone that easily goes out on the manager and say I'm done. For example, Amorim. When many Man United fans, even in my group, there's a group I have a couple of my friends, just only Man United fans. We also have another group that comprises of different football fans here. And I told them, I believe in giving a manager time to do his job, right? And certain periods, there might be some decisions that I might not be cool with, but I will still want to give that manager time. And Carrick, I really like him and I want him to be the manager. But you cannot force a defender to play that attacking position when that player is not good enough to play there. And the fact that Patrick Dogu scored a worldie against Arsenal in that position does not mean that Patrick Dogu is now a left winger. So that is one area Carrick needs to address very, very quickly. He needs to address that. Vili says, Lord Christ Almighty, let this opening week get better with the chill cheats getting smacked by Fulham. I predicted a win for Chelsea right against Fulham, but the way this week has been going, we might have surprises. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fulham beat Chelsea in a Premier League tomorrow. I would not be surprised, in all honesty, because the Premier League this season, it looks like many people will get will get battered in the first week or probably even the second week. Julian with Shovel says, yeah, it's my first name here. I'm from Norway. All right, Julian. Okay, you're from Norway. All right, Norwegian, the Vikings. Nice to have you on the channel. What did you guys say? Who? You guys actually made the World Cup very, very fun to watch and interesting with your full-time role in the stadium. Nice to have you on the channel, Julian. Lost Mommy says, Julian with Shovel, welcome to the channel. Yeah, welcome to the channel, Julian. Arsenal 851 says, take note, I was watching Ipswich match yesterday. They were so dangerous. Yeah, I saw a clip of their game, and this Paraguayan, what's his name? Julio Enciso. Yeah, I saw what he was doing yesterday, and the question I asked myself was, is it Luke Shaw that is going to mark Julio Enciso next weekend? It's going to be a very big problem. Yeah, now you just talked about Ipswich Town. It is going to be a very big problem for Man United, because I saw that game yesterday that Ipswich played and they won against Sunderland. The way they battered Sunderland was just crazy. Yeah, it was just crazy. And Luke Shaw, in all honesty, is, well, at one that game against Ipswich for Man United, let me see if it's on a Saturday or Sunday. Okay, that's like maybe a day or two. Okay, it should be like a day or two before the transfer window ends. Oh yeah, it will be like a day or two, because I know next weekend is like on Friday. Okay, on the 30th, Man United is playing on Sunday 30th, and the transfer window will end on Tuesday, September the 1st. So that's like 2 days to the transfer window ending. So maybe I would, in fact, at this point, I would want Ipswich Town to beat Man United so that they can go and sign me a left back. And I see that game, Man United will lose. It's the first game at Old Trafford. Man United will lose that game. Julio Enciso is going to destroy Luke Shaw. I remember watching the highlights of that game. I didn't watch the full match, but I watched the highlights. I saw what Enciso was doing. I saw what he was doing with the Sunderland players. And Sunderland are even a very better physical team than Man United. Dennis Beckham says, that's it. I've seen enough. Give Michael Carrick a lifetime contract. Asla851 says, it's like the way one level better from Hull. Now, Ipswich are definitely better than Hull City, with what the highlight I saw yesterday. Now, what Hull City did to Man United was just those direct balls, and they got the set piece which they scored with, right? But Ipswich Town, with what I saw in the highlight yesterday, they can hold on to the ball very well, and Julio Enciso is the main threat in that team. He was operating from the left flank. I saw what he did to Granit Xhaka yesterday, when Xhaka wanted to slide the guy, and he just, with a quick feet, beat Granit Xhaka, went into the left back, beat him, and entered the 18-yard box and crossed it. So he was a menace for for Sunderland yesterday. And that is the team Man United is playing next. Okay, let's see. I really doubt if Man United is going to survive that game on Sunday. Lost Mommy says, guys, let's get the likes up and don't forget to sub if you are new. Yeah, guys, let's get the likes up. I want us to push the likes up to 60 on this live stream. Let's get it going, guys. It's also match day. We have Liverpool playing today, Man City as well. Barcelona will play later on. So we have about 3 watch-alongs to do today. Arsenal 851 says, Noble, brother, I also believe the same, but trust me, Carrick is very similar to Gareth Southgate, where tons of useless crosses. Yeah, that crossing aspect in that game yesterday, I don't understand why they were crossing the balls. It's not like Benjamin Sesko was there, and the Hull City defenders were very tall. So I don't understand why you be crossing the ball for Mateus Cunha or Brian Mbeumo to nod the ball where you had players who were actually taller than them in that defense. If it was Sesko or Maguire being there for the corner kicks and you're crossing that, I can understand. But for Mbeumo or Cunha, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't make sense. Carrick needs to sit up. He needs to sit up. Ola says, Man United chop am from Ajayi. That boy, that Ajayi, which team was even... Okay, yeah. The Nigerian centre-back, I remember Ajayi now. Because I know that boy, I was like, Tosin and Ajayi. Yeah, I think he currently plays for Nigeria. He no see team to score. He had to score against Man United. But, well, I forgive him, na Naija boy. So, I forgive him for that. Says that first 30 minutes in the Madrid game fooled me. Madrid still has a long way to go. Yeah, the first 25-30 minutes in that game was really, really exciting to watch for all Madrid fans, right? But Madrid did not capitalize on the chances they created. They missed a lot of chances. Kylian Mbappe missed about 3 in the first half. Who else? I think Vini Jr. missed about 1 or 2. And Vini at some point was just being selfish. That whole primary school football, you would not get a hold on the ball and you want to dribble someone. You need to hold the ball first, get your balance before you now decide on where you want to move with the ball. Not a situation whereby you are not even holding the ball and you are looking for who to dribble. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why Vini always likes to do that. And Mourinho needs to improve the team. He really needs to improve the team. And one area I said Jose Mourinho needs to work on is Madrid defense. Try as much as you can not to concede goals. If you can keep clean sheets, it will help the team. Yeah, it will build the team confidence that they are hard not to crack. But if you concede very easily, it's going to be a problem. Vili says, brother, at this point, throw out your predictions. Only 2 teams in the Prem which will promise you the right predictions. 1, Arsenal. 2, Man City. The rest are just the whole hope and pray teams. Nah, bro, even Man City is not a guarantee. It's only Arsenal that you can, if for example you want to predict or place a bet, it's only Arsenal that you can comfortably place a bet on, and you know you are in safe hands. Yes, nothing is guaranteed 100%, right? But you know you are in a safe hand. But you see the other teams, it's just hope and pray. Man City is not even going to win their game today against Bournemouth. I sincerely think Bournemouth will either get a draw or win Man City. I don't see City winning. City is very, very poor right now. They are very poor right now. Arsenal 851 says, I know it's Old Trafford, but nowadays teams are not scared to travel to Old Trafford like Fergie time. Now they are looking toward to play United. Yeah, that's why I said I don't see Man United winning that game. Yeah, I really don't see Man United winning that game next weekend against Hull City. I really don't see them. Vili says, not a bad stream so far, my broski. We on 13 watching and 22 likes already. Whoa. Yeah, we had about, I think we have over 30 and 20 people different intervals watching. Yeah, the channel, I know hopefully in a couple of weeks we are going to push bigger and higher. Yeah, the new season has started, so we have more football people joining the channel to participate in the morning show and also in the live watch alongs we usually do on the channel. Solomon says referee is doing shit things against Tottenham. Come on, man, it has nothing to do with the referee. You guys were just terrible in the game. For example, it's just like me coming out to say Man United were robbed by the referee, or the referee was very poor yesterday in his officiating. Nah, if you were poor, you were just poor. It is better to accept the poor performance of your team than to blame it on the referee. Tottenham were just poor yesterday. That's just it. Nomad UCL says Man United should go for established names like Ruben Neves, Fabian Ruiz, Laporte, Balde, Mount, Maguire, Shaw, Ugarte, Zexi, and Zexi shouldn't be there. Mason Mount, I already said Man United needed to have sold that guy since last season, right? Sell him off. Zexi, we need to sell him, get another striker. Harry Maguire, I think the club made a mistake giving him another contract. Luke Shaw, if they need someone to come drive Luke Shaw, I would run up to the UK and drive him off to a different club. That guy, I don't want to see him anywhere near Man United. I don't. Ugarte should have been sold, but he's currently injured. So Man United have not even sold any player this summer. They haven't sold any player this summer. It's crazy. It's just the academy boy that they sold. They have not sold any senior team player they needed to have sold. Mason Mount ought not to have been at Man United this season. Nowhere near Man United. But he's still a Man United player. It's just a shame. United board and the management have made United fans accept mediocre. And it's not nice. It is not nice at all. Julian with Shovel says, when Norway beat Brazil, me and my family went to the king's house to row with over 100k other people. There was barely space to stand and it was like 1 a.m. over here in Norway. Yeah, I always love to watch that Norway row at the World Cup. Boom, boom, boom. Either Haaland or Odegaard with the drumstick. Boom, boom. Yeah, those were one of the highlights during that World Cup. It was really, really a beautiful sight to watch, honestly. Solomon says we got 6 scammers. Tottenham. It looks like it's gonna be business as usual for Spurs, because that 3-0 loss yesterday just made the fans realize that problem is still there. The problem is still there. Honestly, it has not gone away. The problem for Spurs is still there. The same thing with Man United. You see, the problem we thought had already gone away. That problem is still there, honestly. And sometimes it's actually good you get a wake-up call. Yeah, it's good you get a wake-up call, because some fans at times might get overexcited and they just begin to wish for a lot of things, and get too excited and expect to be in a position they are not really ready for. Yeah, it's a hard conversation we need to have. That's why I said, for me, I think at this point I actually made a mistake in my prediction for top 4. Yeah, because with what I saw yesterday, Michael Carrick, with what I saw yesterday, Carrick is really, really not serious for this job. He's not serious. Majid says, chill Arsenal fans, remember you're nothing special. We lose every week. Now, Arsenal for me, they are just the only team in England that can give you some level of consistency. Man United, with what we saw towards the end of last season, expecting to have some level of consistency, but right now the uncertainty and the confusion is so glaring. Solomon says Richarlison is the biggest scammer. Lukaku better than Richarlison. I think Spurs ought to have sold him for a long time. Yeah, Richarlison, I don't really fancy his game. You can't really say this is Richarlison's biggest strength. I've watched him for so many years, but I cannot really say this is where this guy is really, really good at. I really can't say that. Lost Mommy says, I won't be at the Manchester City game and most of the Liverpool game training today. Oh, that's nice. Mariam, I would love to see your training video. Mariam, you know what you do for me? Send me your training video on Instagram. I want to see you where you are playing. Let me know. Let me confirm if you're actually good at football, like you said. Just send it to me on Instagram. Let me see your training video so I can get some scouts come watch you. Arsenal 851 says, just imagine if Liverpool, City, Chelsea and Villa losing today. Bro, if Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea lose tomorrow, Liverpool and Man City lose today and Chelsea lose tomorrow, I will not be angry anymore. I will not understand and know it is only Arsenal that have gotten the 3 points from the big boys, right? But if Liverpool and Man City win today and Chelsea win tomorrow, it will now make that loss yesterday more painful. Honestly, it will make the loss yesterday more painful. I know I have only Arsenal to contend with, right? They only got the 3 points. So we'll hope and see how the next week will be. But if these three teams win, it's not going to be nice, honestly. It won't be nice. Arsenal says, you see, I don't understand so many left back, right back defenders and they are going for injury-prone Balde. Look at his injury record. Bro, Man United sporting director need to be sacked. Jason Wilcox, that guy doesn't have a clue whatsoever he's doing at the club. Because I don't even understand why you will even have Balde on your list to go inquire. And my point all summer has been, did you not know that you needed to sign a left back? That's my... If I have an opportunity to have a conversation with Jason Wilcox, I will ask him this question. Please, I want to understand. Did you not know all summer that you needed to sign a left back? Because every Manchester United fan, every Premier League fan that is not a Man United fan already knows that United needed a left back even since last season. Everybody knew. But how come the man that is paid thousands of pounds every single week does not have a clue? It's really, really a big disgrace to have someone like this be your sporting director or director of football, whichever one they call it. It's really, really sad. Vili says, at Julian with shovel, are you in Oslo? I'm in Trondheim. Oh, Vili, you're also from Norway. That's nice. Ola says, I think United would buy Osimhen ASAP. Bro, the Osimhen area is not even our problem. Our main problem is that defense. If you're doing anything up front and your defense is open, is a big problem for you. It's a big problem. Maybe you push to score and the team is tight and you just get one counter, boom, they score you. That's all. That's over. Arsenal says that shows Nobu other clubs are not interested in United players. At this stage, it's better United to keep Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was better than Diogo Dalot. That's just the honest truth. At least you can say Wan-Bissaka is good at this. But you cannot say Diogo Dalot is good at this. That is just the difference. I will pick Aaron Wan-Bissaka all day of the week over Diogo Dalot. Dalot is the only advantage or the only thing positive you can say about Diogo Dalot is the fact that he is always available. That's all. He's always available. That's the only thing positive you can say about Diogo Dalot. He's always available, not injured. Every single time you have a game, Dalot is there. That's all. Dennis Beckham says £300 million spent just to be in a relegation battle is the most Spurs thing ever. Nah, I don't think Spurs are going to be in the relegation battle. Yeah, I don't think they will. But my prediction for them was actually top. I didn't have them in my top 4 in the video I made on the channel, but later on I changed my mind and said, nah, with what I saw in the preseason, I think I'll have to put Spurs in that top 4 position, maybe at number 4, right? But let's watch and see. It's the first game, I know, and I don't want to panic too much on my Man United side. And also looking at Spurs, I think they will not struggle in terms of the whole relegation battle. Yeah, even if they don't finish top 4, but they should be around the top 10 region. If they go below that top 10, then they might not even survive it this time around. Lost Mommy says, Nobo, there's a player named Ryan Abu Elneny who will soon be playing for PSG's first team. He is Egyptian and will be close to playing for the national team after signing with them. He is Egyptian but lives in France. Okay, Mario, I know one thing about you is any Egyptian that plays outside of that plays outside of Egypt, I think you might know all of them one after another. You might not know about other players, but anybody that is an Egyptian, be him a teenager or an adult, you definitely know those guys. Because I've not seen this name before. This Ryan Abu Elneny, I've not seen the name before. Except maybe, okay, you said he plays for... He will soon be playing for the PSG first. That means he's in the academy for PSG. Vili says, at Solomon, I will never understand how the Spurs will have him as their starting 9, or better yet, even starting. Surely you can get a better 9 or get a second 9 to Solanke. I think the major problem Solanke has been having at Spurs is injury. Injury after injury. Injury after injury. But like I said with Richarlison, I've watched him for years and I can't really say for sure this is what this guy is good at. Even I think he was even better off when he was at Everton. Yeah, I don't know. He came to Spurs and he was just... He now became worse than he was at Everton. But I would say he played most of his best years at Everton more than he's currently playing in Tottenham. Lost Mommy says, impossible, Nobu. Now, I would really want to watch and see how you play football. I'm being serious. Lost Mommy says, give me some popcorn, Dennis. Julian says, yeah, I'm from Oslo. I live here. Arsenal says, at this stage, I can do a better job than Wilcox. I can assemble a team where United would challenge for the title. Bullshit, Wilcox. Honestly, I sincerely think some people are just privileged. Yeah. That is just all I can say about Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox is just... I see him as just being privileged because that man has no clue whatsoever he's doing at the club. He doesn't. Because there are certain players I see and I ask myself, why is Man United not coming in for this player? Why? Why is the club not coming in for this player? Because it's really, really difficult to understand it. And what is the scouting department doing? Or you guys are so hell-bent on signing those players that everyone is going for? Just look at the Barcelona signing. The Egyptian teenager, that striker, Hamza Abdulkarim, that Barcelona signed. Look at how sharp that boy is. Even the other attacking player they signed from Belgium, Jesse Bisiu. Look at how that boy is. Those two boys. Then you ask yourself, what exactly is your club doing? What is the scouting department doing? What is your director of football doing? You get linked to someone like Balde. Balde, whose leg is condemned, always injured. A small boy, always injured every time. Jason Wilcox doesn't have a clue whatsoever of what he's doing at the club. He doesn't. Julian says, I gotta go. I'll check in sometime soon. All right, Julian, thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Julian. I am Treasure Cat says, hold that. I am Treasure. Welcome to the channel. Nice to have you. Where are you connecting from? Arsenal says, it's okay, brother. Some United fans did a video yesterday saying United lost their first game during Fergie's last year to Everton and went on to win the league. There is still hope. The thing with some fans or some Man United fans is they like to give themselves false hope, right? And for me, I'm a very positive person, and one thing I will not do is live in that delusion of positivity and say your team is going to do this now when you know they are not good enough. With this defense, if Man United, as at September the 1st, 11 p.m. UK time, do not sign at least 2 defenders, 1 centre back and 1 left back. Ideally, they should get 2 centre backs and 1 left back. But if on September the 1st, 11 p.m. UK time, they don't sign at least 1 left back and 1 centre back, I'm sorry to say, Man United will not make top 4. Yeah, they will not make top 4 if they fail to sign at least 1 left back and 1 centre back. They are not going to make top 4. That's just the honest truth. Because no matter the magic Michael Carrick will want to perform, that defense needs serious work. It needs serious work. And I am someone that sincerely wants Carrick to succeed at the club. That was why I supported him to be given the job permanently. But he's not been fully backed. That's just the honest truth. He's not been fully backed. He needs players. But the club is just so relaxed. You got into Champions League. You spent over 200 million pounds to come into the Champions League. Now you have already come into the Champions League. Spend money to remain in that Champions League. No, you don't want to spend money. You don't. Vili says, if the Spurs even get 15th or 16th, that's a great season for them. They will return a game, claim Spurs are back for next season. Nah, Spurs are not going to... Spurs will not get relegated next season. Honestly, they won't. I am Treasure Cat says, United need an elite coach. Until that happens, they are mid-table team. One thing, or would I say, the most important person at a football club is the manager. Yeah, in my opinion, the most important person in the football club is the manager, right? Look at Hansi Flick, for example. Hansi Flick didn't get fully backed in the transfer market, and the club didn't spend much money. Last season, Barcelona's net spend was around 30 million or 35 million euros. They signed about 2 players on loan. I think Joao Cancelo and Marcus Rashford signed both of them on loan, and I think one other player. They didn't spend much, but Hansi Flick was able to get Barcelona to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and he won the league back to back. And I think he won, was it the Super Copa? Yeah, he won 2 trophies last season. When you have a top manager, one way or the other, he will find a way to navigate throughout the season. But there are certain heights that manager cannot hit because of the constraints he has. Now look at Barcelona, they have improved their squad considerably well. They have improved their squad. So Hansi Flick might end up doing better than he did last season, or he might maintain the same success or level his team was last season. Michael Carrick, yes, is not yet proven. I like him. He did amazing at Man United towards the end of last season, but he needs to stop experimenting and stand his ground to do what has been working for him all these months. He should stop the experimenting. Patrick Dogu being experimented as a left winger when he's not is going to be his biggest downfall. Really. Lost Mommy says Steven El Shaarawy. Is he an Egyptian? Because I remember the El Shaarawy that plays for was he Napoli? No, El Shaarawy played for Roma, I think. Yeah, El Shaarawy played for Roma. I think he also went to, was he Lazio? No, Lavezzi was the one who played for Lazio. I think El Shaarawy at some point played for Roma. I don't know where he currently plays football now. Vili says, Noble, realistically, who would even sign for you lot Man United that is at elite or world class in left back or centre back or in midfield? I don't see anybody wanting to go to Man City's little brother. Now Man United still has that pulling power. Yeah, Man United still has that pulling power. Even when we didn't play for Champions League, we were able to sign very good players. So if it's the pulling power, it's there. The problem is those people that sign the players. Yeah. For example, Lewis Hall, if you're talking about the best left backs in the league, top 2, top 3, Lewis Hall is among the top 2, top 3 left backs in the Premier League. But Man United have not gone for him. They knew all summer. They waited for Newcastle to sell their 2 key midfielders. And it's not like Newcastle have an obligation to sell Lewis Hall. They already made over 175 million pounds from just the sales of 2 players. So if you're talking about PSR or FFP, they are in a very good position. They are not in a hurry to sell Lewis Hall. Why didn't you go for Lewis Hall earlier on in the window? You had to wait up until the end. Now Lewis Hall is very much likely to sign a new deal at Newcastle. Wilcox is not just good at his job. That's just the honest truth. Majid says, winning 1 Premier League in 20 years and then acting like the best team in the world plus looking down at every team is the most Arsenal thing ever. Upstarts. Imagine having 0 UCL in 2026. That Champions League final last was it last 2 months? No, 3 months ago, in May, on the 31st, is it 31st or 30th of May? That would have changed the whole landscape of Arsenal's history. Yeah, that final would have changed it if they had won it, but it's still the same story for Arsenal, no UCL. So let's see if Arteta can break that cross for Arsenal before he leaves the club. Arsenal says, brother, if United lose to Ipswich, they will go on to lose to Everton and City. Whoa. If they lose their first 4 games, United fans will call for Michael Carrick to be sacked. That's it. That is the only thing that will happen. But ideally, what I would want is for Jason Wilcox to be sacked. Yeah, it's high time clubs start to sack their sporting directors. Not only the managers. It's high time you begin to sack many of these guys that are in the upper echelon of management. You need to start sacking those people because, one, you have to look at who made this decision, right? If you're talking about who signed the manager, it was the sporting director. So If the person you brought is not doing well, what does that mean? It shows your judgment is very bad. So why should we entrust you with this job going forward? Right? So I think one person, if the season goes wrong, that need to be sacked first is Jason Wilcox. He doesn't have a clue whatsoever of what he's doing. He doesn't. Dennis Beckham says he played for AS Roma and AC Milan. Yeah. He played for AC Milan first. Yeah, El Shaarawy, I remember him. Very smallish in size. Then he later moved to AC Milan. I don't know where he's currently playing at right now. Lost Mommy says Ryan Abu Al-Nai. Is it Ryan Abu Al-Nai or Al-Nai? Okay. Ryan Abu Al-Nai was already with the first team but was on the bench and didn't participate in PSG's friendly matches. You will see him soon, God willing. Alright. Enrique likes to play some of their teenagers in certain UCL games. Maybe when they are leading games 3-4 nil, he will just bring them on with 10-15 minutes to go. So the boy might get playing time. Since players like Mbaye is very much likely to leave PSG to join Liverpool. So yeah, the boy might see game time. Arsenal says Wilcox need to sit down and really look at player selections. But I love Lewis Hall, but I know Arsenal will not go in for him. But Noble, you have to be careful if City comes in for him. According to reports we got a couple of days ago, Lewis Hall is looking like he will sign a new contract and stay back at Newcastle. But I don't think that will be the best for him though. But it's his decision. Whatever he chooses to do, yeah, that's his own decision. He will live with that. But I don't want a situation whereby he will sign with Newcastle. He will sign a new deal with Newcastle, and next season or 2 seasons, you see him trying to put in a transfer request to go to his dream club. Sometimes these players can be really, really funny. Guys, let's get the likes up. Let's get it up. And if you're new to the channel, let us know where you're connecting from. Nonso says Real Madrid is coming for every club. Nonso, are you a Madrid fan? Are you a Madrid star? Lost Mommy says Steven El Shaarawy, Egyptian, but preferred playing for Italy, not Egypt, but Italy didn't qualify to the World Cup. Is it the El Shaarawy I know, Mariam? El Shaarawy, does he have... Okay, that name is an Egyptian name. Okay. White Rosie says, have a good day, Noble. It's sleep time for me, and don't let Michael Carrick stress you out. Catherine, Carrick has already stressed me out in week 1. I just hope the 37 weeks left or 37 match day left will not be as crazy as yesterday. Honestly, I just hope so. Billy says, yeah, I was just kidding. Noble, Arsenal, Man United, even Chelsea are still have that pulling power because they have prestige. And when they come calling, it's a different knock. Yeah, they are still the big boys. Regardless, they are still the big boys. Arsenal 8517 says, but Noble, what happens if United sack Carrick? Who you have in mind? If Man United sack Michael Carrick? Honestly, I have not actually thought about that. But taking a few minutes to think about that, or a few seconds, who is actually available out there right now? Jurgen Klopp can never be a Man United manager. Never. He can never coach Man United. So that's even a no. It's not even an option. And he's currently the German manager. Zidane never wanted to coach another club after the Real Madrid successful team he had then. He's currently the French national team manager. Who else? Oliver Glasner has already moved to Forest. Andoni Raiola has moved to Liverpool. Uh, Enrique still at PSG. Who else? Who else? Who else? Uh, Southgate has been looked at a couple of times, and God will punish Ineos. God will punish Ineos if they try that. Yeah, if they try to bring Southgate, Dennis Bergkamp, if they try to bring Southgate to Man United, God will punish Ineos. Nah, they should not even try that nonsense with me. They shouldn't try it. Inzaghi. Yeah, I actually didn't think of Inzaghi, but Inzaghi will not be a bad option. Yeah, he's very, very much experienced. 2 Champions League finals. Yes, he lost both of them, but it shows you that he's got something there. Adam, I thought about Nagelsmann, but I think right now I have reservations as regards Nagelsmann. Yeah, I used to like Julian Nagelsmann. That time we sacked Eric Ten Hag. I was sincerely looking at Julian Nagelsmann, because that season, if you can remember, he did amazing with Bayern and he was unbeaten in the Champions League. But I think he said he was on a holiday. I think he said he went about, I think he was doing something like maybe a mountain climbing, and he got a call that he has been sacked. So he was doing pretty well. I think he had disagreements with the board on certain things. I don't really understand what exactly happened. He did well at Bayern that time, but if you see, or if you look at his Germany team were not good. Yeah, his German team were just so bad. But on a second thought, looking at Hansi Flick with what he's doing right now at Barcelona, Hansi Flick took over the same Germany. He couldn't do anything, right? And you now see what Hansi Flick is doing with Barcelona for 2 seasons now. So I have reservations with Nagelsmann, sincerely, but I wouldn't mind having him to be on that list. Let's say I'll have a 3 or a 4-man list. Inzaghi. Majid is saying that Al Hilal won't let him go. Now, but if a top club from Europe calls and comes for him, definitely he will have to leave. Honestly, he will have to leave. Yeah, you guys mentioning Inzaghi. Majid mentioned Inzaghi, so I would consider Inzaghi. I would consider Julian Nagelsmann. Adam is saying Unai Emery. Unai Emery. Unai Emery will not work at Man United for one reason alone, right? For one reason alone. And that reason is going to be because of Jason Wilcox. The reason is this. Unai Emery would want to have an influence in transfers. Players that come in and players that go out. And Jason Wilcox will not want to relinquish that he wouldn't want to share that power with Unai Emery, right? So I would also have Unai Emery on that list, but yeah, what Unai Emery would demand, I don't really think that Wilcox will be able to relinquish some of his powers to him. Yeah, so I think the best bet for me will have to be Inzaghi. Yeah, I think it's Inzaghi and Nagelsmann. But I think the person that will be most appealing to Ineos will be Julian Nagelsmann, right? Yeah, it will be Julian Nagelsmann. A wise goat says, literally, Vini has disappointed us, just diving and losing possession. Vinicius, for me, he still has a long way to go. He's still doing his nonsense trick. You will not hold on to the ball first. You are trying to dribble someone. It doesn't work that way. I don't even know what Vini's plan is, honestly. Vili says Thiago Motta, Unai Emery, Nagelsmann. Thiago Motta. Nah, I don't need Thiago Motta, man. I don't need Thiago Motta. I need an experienced coach. Yes, I know Nagelsmann is still young, but Nagelsmann is experienced. Yeah, Julian Nagelsmann is an experienced manager, even though he's still young. I think Nagelsmann should be around 39 or probably 41. He's young, but he's an experienced manager. I think he coached, was he Wolfsburg before? No, it was Leipzig. I think it was Leipzig that he went from to join Bayern. So Nagelsmann for me will do the job, and he's also worked at a big club like Bayern, so he can cope with the pressure. Dennis Beckham says Didier Deschamps. Now, club football is different from national team football. Yeah, Didier Deschamps has been a national team manager for how many years? I think since the 2000 and is it 2010 or 2014 World Cup? Yeah, I think the 2014 World Cup. So he's been the manager for over 12 years at national team level. So he must have gotten out of touch with how national team football works. Yeah, he must have gotten out of touch with it. Then Majid says Emery is a mid-teams coach. Well, you can say that, but I think one major problem that he might have at Man United is Wilcox might not be willing to relinquish some power to him. That's just the honest truth. Arsenal says, I think that D-head Wilcox is making money off players' transfers at this stage. That his selection are stupid. The same Wilcox said Alex Scott is not 70 million player and paid 70 for Baleba. I honestly don't like Jason Wilcox management. He's not done enough to let me know that he's actually good at his job, and the evidence is there. The evidence is there. I am not really comfortable. I think he's one person that the club needs to sack. Yeah, he's one person that the club needs to sack because he's not good enough. Yeah, honestly, Jason Wilcox needs to be sacked. And the club made a mistake with what's this former Newcastle? What was this former Newcastle man that he replaced? Yeah, I think Man United made a mistake with this Jason Wilcox. He should have remained a technical director. He should have just remained a technical director. Now, Adam, Vincent Kompany is not going to leave Bayern for Man United. He's not. And if you look at the squad he has assembled, Kompany is not going to leave Bayern for Man United. And considering the fact that he's a City legend, I don't think he will want to come back to England and be a Man United manager. If he wants to come back to England and be a manager, then it has to be City. Yeah, if he wants to leave Bayern, then maybe he might need to come back to City. Man United, I really doubt that. Dennis Beckham says 2014 World Cup, 12 years. Yeah, that was because I remember 2010. 2010 was 2010. Who was the manager of France? Was it Laurent Blanc? Laurent Blanc that was a manager then, or who? Arsenal says Deschamps is mediocre coach. He's lucky he has players who know how to play football and win. I wouldn't say he's a mediocre manager, but he's a manager that has been used to national team football. So it will take him time to really understand what club football is actually all about now. It's just like Southgate. Southgate was decent for England, right? And as a Middlesbrough manager, he was rubbish. He didn't do anything as a club side manager. So you can't have a manager who actually coached a team in a national team and you expect him to be successful in club side. It doesn't work that way. Our wise goat says Gasperini. Nah, Raymond Domenech. I don't really need Gasperini. It's either Julian Nagelsmann, what's it called? Inzaghi. Una Emery, I think there might be a clash between him and Wilcox, so I would not have him in that list. I think I would just go with these two. Yeah, I would just go with these two. Julian Nagelsmann and Inzaghi. Those are the two options I would go with, honestly. Arsenal 851 says, but you never know, Noble. Sometimes the pull is just too much. Balde, I think is happening, but I feel is effed up move. Man United should not try that nonsense with me. I don't know what's up with this board and Wilcox. I really don't know what their problem is, because you guys will leave players that have quality and you are going for waste product, or players that you know are not good enough. You are going for them. Oh my God. Vili says, so we have the Pep manager tree with Mikel, Company, the new Man City manager, and Arsene with Arteta, Wilshere, Ramsey, and Sek. What players now managers be under Fergie's branch? Just Carrick. Okay, you're using it to what exactly is the point of your comment? Let me understand. What exactly is the point of your comment, Vili? Arsenal says, well, brother, Ole is still available. Ole is a typical mediocre manager. He went to Besiktas. He couldn't last long there. Arsenal says, how about Sek Noble? Sek wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah. I think I would rather have Sek Fabregas as that number 3. Yeah. Because Una Emery, I think he's going to have issues with people like Wilcox. So I would rather have Sek Fabregas on that list. Yeah, Sek Fabregas, Julian Nagelsmann, and Inzaghi. That's going to be a very, very decent list, honestly. It will be a very decent list. Guys, let's get the likes up. Let's get it up. BL4 says, only Jesus can save Aiden Heaven, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Dalot, Mazraoui against Diaz, Kane, and Olise in the Champions League. Well, I don't want to think about or talk about the Champions League now until September. So let's just chill and wait till September when the Champions League will start. But anyway, guys, I will have to end the stream here. I'll be back for the games we have later on. Let me see if I can be back for the first kickoff of the game today. Let me see. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back for the City game because I'm going out now. Yeah, if I'm back early on, then I might be available for the Man City Bournemouth game. But if I'm not available for that game, then I'll be available for the Newcastle Liverpool game. I think I might go with the Newcastle Liverpool game because Elche is still playing Barcelona today. So yeah, I think I will have to go with the Newcastle Liverpool game. Yeah, that's the game I'm going to do a live watch along for. So yeah, it's going to be Newcastle against Liverpool and Elche versus Barcelona. All right, Majid, Dennis Bergkamp, and Adam. See you guys later, man. Adam says, don't forget my jersey. Sure, man, I won't forget your jersey. All right, guys, I'll see you all later today for the Newcastle game against Liverpool. So please, if you're new to the channel, kindly hit the like button and subscribe to Noble's View. We do this morning show every single day, 8 a.m. UK time. So enjoy the rest of your morning, night, and afternoon, depending on wherever you're connecting from. Anyway, guys, see you all later. And Daniel, how about if your team gets relegated? I hope you'll be good, man. All right, but I'll see you all later and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.